Good morning, children and grandchildren. And if you've had some friends over, good morning to them too. We're going to have such a good time this morning because we're going to have and look into another of Grandpa's toolboxes. What do you think is in this toolbox? Let's look and see. Maybe you can remember the last time Grandpa showed you a toolbox. It had a lot of tools in it. Different kinds of tools, screwdrivers and pliers and all kinds of things. And there were just a few of what were called measuring tools, measuring devices, to be able to measure things, to be able to tell how big they are, how small they are. This was one of them. Grandpa has collected a few more of them. And that's what we're going to see in this toolbox. It's going to be really fun and very interesting. I'm going to put this back for just for now. Right, and we'll leave this open. One of the other measuring devices that Grandpa has that many of you probably have in your house is this thing here. Look at this. Do you know what? Do you recognize this? Do you recognize this? Do you recognize this? You could take it and take a look at it. Yeah, take that and take a look at it. What do you do any of you know what it is? I bet if you ask your mama or your dad what that is, they'd tell you it's a yardstick. Almost every house has one of these in it. It's called a yardstick, and it measures only 3 feet. Would you like to get measured? Would you like to get measured? I'll measure. We'll just do that. Come around here and bring that yardstick with you. If you stand right here, okay, Grandpa will measure how tall you are. Does your mom and dad ever measure you to say how tall you are? Huh? What do you think? Now, if you stand right here, stand here. Very good. Very good. Stand right there. And I will put this right on the top of your head. Right on the top of your head. Okay? All right. I'm going to write this down. I'm going to write this down. I have a pencil. Yes. Okay. Should I say children or grandchildren? I'm going to say, because you're a grandchildren, I'm going to say grandchildren. And how tall was that grandchild? How tall was that grandchildren? The top of your head came to right there. And let's read what it says. It says that you're 34 inches tall. 34, look at that. It's right to the top of your head. So, we're going to put down grandchild. 34. Very good. Isn't that nice? Huh? Now, we have that recorded. And many years from now, you'll have this piece of paper and you will know at your age you were that tall. Isn't that interesting? Very good. All right. Now then, let's start to take a look at some more these items here, they are all measuring devices or measuring tools. Okay? All right. Here is one. Here is one here. And this is what we did before. We looked at this one. Okay? Here is another measuring tool, and many households, many houses have these tools. It's called a ruler. It's only 12 inches long. You can look at that. Now, could I have it back and I'll put it on the table here? Thank you. Very good. Now, this ruler is only 12 inches long. Here is another kind of ruler, and it is also only 12 inches long. This particular kind of ruler is used by a draftsman, a man who makes, or a lady who makes drawings on paper that become the specification for something that's manufactured, called a blueprint. Here is another measuring tool that is used by a draftsman. Here is another draftsman measuring device. Now, this ruler, which is very common in most households, it's a very common ruler. Most of them are only 12 inches long, and they're used for measuring very short distances. Like, what if we wanted to know and record how long your nose was? This is probably what we would use. Now, would you like me to measure your nose? Okay, all right. I'm going to put this up here. And I look at it, and your nose is 1 inch long. 1 inch long, from your forehead to the tip of your nose. Yes, right. Now, we're going to write this down. Nose. 1 inch. Now then, we've measured some very short distance. We've measured how tall you are. We've measured how long your nose is. These are kind of short distances. What if we needed to measure a long distance? Like, what if we needed to measure how long your house is? Oh, that's pretty long. Longer than your nose. Longer than you are tall. What would we use? Well, we have and the way this measures is this comes out and goes. And this is very long. This is like 60 feet long. And this, you could have a friend put this on one corner of your house. Take hold of that, yes, on one corner of your house. And then you could pull it all the way to the other corner of your house. And it would tell you how big your house is. Isn't that interesting? Some people would like to know how big your house is. And you could say, well, it's this many feet long. Pull it out. Yes. But now we're not going to measure your house. We're just going to show you how long it goes. Oh, long. Now, you've measured your house, and now you've got to get this back inside here. How do you think they would have done that? So that you would be able to get this back inside. Because you don't want to leave it out there forever. You don't want to do that. It could get damaged. They have made a little device with a little thing that sticks up. See how that sticks up there? And it's like a little crank. And so to get this back inside of here, you take this little thing here and you start going like this. And it keeps coming back and coming back and coming back and coming back, coming back. And all the way back in. And then you put this down and it stores it inside so that it can't be damaged. Isn't that interesting? From a great big thing to measure to a little bit short thing to measure, like when we measured your nose. Very good. Now then, let's say you don't want to measure 50 feet. You just want to measure, maybe 10 feet. This is a 12-foot tape or ruler. Now then, how does it work? Well, it just simply comes out like this. And you can take the end of it, and pull it out, and it will go out 12 feet. So you can walk 12 feet in that direction, and we could measure something that was 12 feet long. Now then, now that tape is way, way out there where you're standing. How do we get it back in? Well, look at this. Do you see this thing right here? This little button? If I press this little button, watch now. Do you see it? And it is going back. Isn't that something? And it's all back inside and stored nicely, ready for the next time. Now then. What if we needed to measure something really small, really small, less than something that's only a foot long or an inch long. What if we needed to do that? What if we needed to do that? Well, there are several ways to do that. These are called micrometers. Micrometers. And they're for measuring very small things and very accurately. This one is for measuring just things that are only 2 inches long. And it turns in and out. This one measures from This one measures from 2 to 3 inches long. Now, if I were going to measure the width of your nose, I could use this. Let's measure your nose. Here we go. Very good, thank you. And I can read on here what the width of your nose is. It's 1 inch and a little bitty bit. And I'm going to record it down here. Nose, 1 inch, 0.25. Now then, I think it's time for Grandpa to have a little sip of something to drink, okay? All right, maybe you'd like to get something to drink too. I have to be careful I don't spill it. Very good. Did you get something to drink too? Good, good. Okay. Now, let us think, what if you don't have one of these? If you don't have one of these micrometers, there could be another way to measure your nose. Here is a very interesting instrument. This is called a caliper, and it is for measuring different things. Now, since we've already measured your nose, we won't do that again. Let's say we want to measure the width of your mouth. How about that? How far is it from here to here? It may not be convenient at all for you to use this, and it may not be quite as accurate. And so this has been developed so that it can go to nothing, or it can open up really wide, really wide. But your mouth is not that wide, is it? Your mouth is something less than this. So let us measure how wide is your mouth from here to here. All right. And we'll put this up here, and we will very carefully, very carefully very good. This is on one side of your mouth. This is on the other side of your mouth. And then we take a ruler and we put this on the ruler and we measure what does the ruler say it is. And the ruler says that it is it is 1.5 inches. 1.5. Let us now write that down, okay? Mouth. 1.5. Very good. Very good. Next item. What if we were going to measure something really small? I showed you a micrometer like that. Here, this fella. Oh, look at him. This is also a micrometer. It's very small. It only measures from 0 to 1 inch. Very accurately. One of the things that we could measure that might be interesting, because people very seldom measure this. What if we were to measure the thickness of a nail on your finger? Just the thickness of a nail on your finger, like on your thumb. Like on your thumb. You have a thumbnail, right? Did you ever wonder how thick is that nail? Give me your hand, and we will measure the thickness of your nail. Okay? And you read the thickness right here. Right here. And it says the thickness is nail, thumb, It says it is only 0.10. That's how thick your thumbnail is. Isn't that interesting? Ha! Ha! We have recorded that down. Right. Very good. Now, we have to do things in order. So let us pack up the toolbox and put it away. To you, my children and grandchildren, I love you very much.